It's your boy BSG. I'm showing my fat face again. Hope you don't mind, but I felt like it was important to, speak to you directly for what I'm getting ready to say. We got this whole Bitconnect thing, and I know people out there have lost a lot of money. And what I was gonna do is, just put a compilation together of people, that were involved, and kind of exposing, if you will, the scammers and so on and so forth. But I said, you know what? I think the best thing to do, I know if I had lost money, what I need to hear right now is, some encouragement, some tough love, some understanding, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna do that. If you see me looking away, it's because I'm looking at my positions right now. So I'm checking on that. But let me first of all say what cryptonick didn't say, and what Trevon James didn't say, and what Craig Grant didn't say, and what cryptochick didn't say, and what Ryan Hildreth didn't say. And that is, I'm sorry. Even though I'm not the one that, advised you to get into it, I tried to tell everybody I could. I made a few videos telling you, not to, but obviously if you're not subscribed to the channel, then you didn't know that. So I thought it was real low class from, all the people involved, not to issue an apology. In some cases, you got people saying that they're still buying the Bitconnect token. Like, I can't even, I can't put into words how disrespectful that is, how stupid that is. You got people who have scammed you out of your money, and they're saying, "Oh, I'm still buying this. It's something gonna happen. It's gonna come back up." That is totally irresponsible. So I am sorry that you are going through this. I'm sorry that you've lost your money, and I know how that feels. Trust me, I have been where you have been. Because I invested in scams? No. I've been a trader since 2011, investing in stocks and options. And trust me, I have been wrong a few times. I've been mostly right. I'm probably 90% right. Maybe even higher than that when it comes to my investments and the decisions that I make. But there are 3 times that I've been really wrong. Really wrong. And if you add those 3 mistakes up, those 3 mistakes cost me, over probably 1.2, 1.3 million. Seriously. 2 of them were on Netflix. Back when Blockbuster was closing down, Netflix was still doing DVDs, and they were sending DVDs through the mail. And so, obviously I thought that was garbage. I'm like, man, this is crap. This is going to be like another Blockbuster. So, I had shorted them down from 100 to like 60 and 55 and made good money doing that. But, I honestly thought that they were going to like 20 bucks. So I just kept shorting them. And one day their stock popped up because Carl Icahn decided that he wanted to get in Netflix. And so I lost 80% of my account in literally 2 minutes. Like literally 2 minutes. And so I should have left Netflix alone then. Of course I didn't. So they went from like 55 to 65 in one day. And so if you know anything about options, when you play options and you're really wrong, you lose all your money. But the other time, Netflix was going into their earnings, and Netflix was about $100, and I just knew their earnings were going to be bad. because they weren't making any money. Still to this day, Netflix is still not, super duper profitable. Just keeping it real with you, but substance sometimes doesn't matter in stocks. So I shorted them going into their earnings when they were $100, and overnight they went from $100 to $155, $160, and I lost everything on that trade. Had I went the other way, my investment would have been over $1 million if I had even if I had to just put half short and half long, which you can do with options. Then I would have made $500,000 or $600,000. If I even had to just listen to my wife. My wife was like, "You should put something in short and you should put something in long." I said, "Go sit down. What do you know, right? The big bad guy. Your wife doesn't know anything." I should have listened, and I didn't. And so that was a very, very hard pill to swallow. So I have been there. So what is going to be the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be? What's the difference between me then and me now? And the answer is I did not quit. Right? I could have said, "Oh man, this stock thing doesn't work. Oh man, options doesn't work. So forget it. I'm never gonna get involved with this kind of stuff again. I'm never gonna do it." No, I didn't blame anybody else. I blamed myself because I made the decision. And so if you're out there right now, yes, I know you're mad at Cryptonick, and you should be. You're mad at Trevon James, and you should be. But at the end of the day, you made the decision. And if you didn't hear that Bitconnect was a scam, then you weren't watching this channel, and perhaps that's your fault. Perhaps that's not your fault. Maybe if I if I was like cryptochick and I had big breasts and I was showing my breasts in the thumbnail, maybe you would be watching. Okay? Or maybe if I was white, right? If I was white, maybe you would be subscribed to my channel. I'm just keeping it real. I don't understand how people follow a 17-year-old who has no financial backing to make decisions about their heart. That's one of the dumbest things that anybody can do. You don't know these people, okay? And you don't know me. You only know somebody by their works. So, if I tell you to do something, or if I tell you not to do something, you're only going to know by, over time what's going on. So if you go back and look at my videos 2 weeks ago, a month ago, what do you see me saying? You see me saying several times that Bitconnect is a scam. So that's how you know who I am. That's how you know who anybody is. You have to understand who you're getting this research from. I don't care who it is. There are people out here on YouTube now still giving you bad information. Still. There are people who are out there giving you information who have never even shown their face. They're using a cartoon to tell people stuff. And so that's why, I felt like today, I said, you know what, I'm going to show my face today. So you can look me in my eyes and you can understand where I'm coming from. I have been where you've been. I have probably lost more than you've lost over years. What that's called is getting an education. You don't get an education by going to college and reading some books and taking some tests. That doesn't teach you anything about life. What teaches you about life are your experiences. And so the reason that myself and other people are qualified to tell you anything is because we have been through what you've been through. Okay, there's nothing worse than somebody who's never lost anything telling you, oh, it's okay, when they haven't experienced that. I have lost a lot. And that is where I got my education from. I didn't get my education from going to college. I got my education about stocks by losing money. You know how I learned to not trade penny stocks? By trading penny stocks and losing money. Do you know how I learned how to not day trade? By trying to teach other people how to day trade, and they lost money, even though I'm very good at it. It wasn't teachable to other people. I couldn't teach my mom how to day trade. I couldn't teach my wife or, a friend how to day trade. Then I look back at it, I say, you know what, you make more money if you just hold on. Okay, so I'm qualified to tell you about crypto now because I've been invested in cryptocurrency since 2013. So I understand the ups and the downs. I can tell you to hold on to your Bitcoin when it falls from 15,000 to 10,000 or from 20,000 to 10,000, because when I bought Bitcoin at $1,000, it fell to 200. And I thought Bitcoin was over then. And my wife told me not to get into it in the first place. And I didn't listen to her. But this time I was right. And I should have bought more. And I didn't because I was too afraid. So some of you are going to go around and say, oh, I'm never going to get involved in anything again. If you don't put yourself out there, then you will be exactly where you are right now. And I'm assuming that the reason that you got in Bitconnect is because you're not happy with where you are right now. Somebody else is going to bring you an opportunity. I'm going to bring you an opportunity. I'm going to tell you about a specific cryptocurrency. You're going to follow me on Twitter and I'm going to say, hey, check this thing out. Or I'm going to ask you to join my group that I'm a part of that costs you $20 a month. Okay, and some of you are going to be like, oh, why $20 a month? The reason why it's $20 a month is because of things like Bitconnect. It's because I need you to pay attention to things that the group is telling you. And if it's free, you might listen, you might not. But if you have to pay a little bit, just a little bit, when we send out emails and when we say, hey, you need to check this thing out, guess what? You're probably going to pay attention to it. That's the only reason it's there. We don't need your money. But it needs to be hard not to duplicate. We also need to not have people come in our group and, give our information elsewhere, even though that could still possibly happen. Initially, they were going to make it $100 a month. And, if we can tell you how to 10 times your money in a year, or 5 times your money in a year, or even 100 times, 100% in a year, it's worth $100 a month, depending on what you invest in. I said, but you know what? No, y'all should keep it cheap. If y'all want me to be a part of this group, let's keep it cheap. So we made it 20 bucks. Okay? But, you have to have somebody out there that you can go to who has been through what you've been through. And there are other people outside of me that can do that. Ian Bellina, I don't know him personally. Okay? I don't know anything about the guy. But I know he has a system, and I know, for a lot of people it has worked, and he has been across the earth, telling people about cryptocurrency. So that's a good guy to probably follow. So you might want to check him out. Ian Bellina has less subscribers than cryptonick. Ian Bellina has less subscribers than cryptochick and some of these other morons that you listen to. And that's probably because we're black, probably because people don't think we're that attractive. And again, we're not showing skin. My bad. Camera cut off, man. These cameras only give you so much time to talk, and I got a big mouth and I talk a lot. Talking about Ian Bellina, and like I said, other people on YouTube who know a lot less have more subscribers than this dude, and it has everything to do with what they look like. And I'm so tired of that, man. I cannot wait, and I don't know how long it's gonna take until we get to the point where what somebody looks like doesn't matter. Why are we like that? Why do I have to be attractive to you in order for my words to have substance? So you won't listen to me, or you won't You won't invest in, you know, if I started a fund or whatever because of my skin color, or because, you know, I don't have a six pack, or, you know, because of I got big lips, or, you know, I don't understand that. But look at where it has got those people who follow cryptochick and cryptonick and these other morons, and Trevon James and Craig Grant and a whole host of other people that I don't know. People have lost. I saw one video. I don't even know if it's real. I'm just keeping it real because the guy was smiling, you know, saying he lost $500,000. Hey, if I lost $500,000, I would not be doing a video that day. I probably wouldn't be doing a video that week. You know what I'm saying? Unless I was a billionaire. You know, this guy is smiling. He's like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna get in this other thing. I'm like, are you serious? But other people lost 100,000. They lost 50. They lost 30,000. They lost 10,000. They lost, you know, no matter what the amount is, they lost what they had. For some people, you know, they was working at McDonald's or something and they put in $300 and that's all the money that they had. And so because of looks, because they saw other people were subscribed, you know, a lot of times people don't subscribe to you because, oh, you know, you only got 2,000 subscribers, you must not know what you're talking about. Oh, so I'm going to go follow this other guy that's got 50,000, 100,000, and he's literally, you know, leading you off the edge of a cliff at high speed. Okay? Look at the information. Look at the substance of what somebody is telling you, not what they look like. Now, you know, that's not going to change overnight or whatever, but that kind of thing just gets on my nerves, and I'm going to go off on a tangent just a little bit, but I have to say this. It is so hypocritical to talk about this Me Too movement, but at the same time use your sex appeal to get subscribers on YouTube. You can't have it both ways, right? You either want respect, and you should have that, okay? And all those people who did that stuff are the scum of the earth. But then don't come on YouTube and you crying Me Too on Twitter, but then you come on YouTube and you're trying to use sex appeal to sell a product. That's as hypocritical as it gets. Can we just treat people for the information that they give? Can we just treat people for what they know and their experiences and their background, rather than is she cute, is he cute, what they look like, you know, do they look like me, are they from the same country I'm from, so on and so forth. We got to get past that point, but I'm going to get off of that. All right. So what do you do now? You lost money. Okay. You upset. You know, what I want to tell you is, again, I've been where you are right now. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is not give up. Now, if you lost a bunch of money, I realize it's going to take you time to recover. And so if you need to take time to recover, to get more money, I understand. And for some of you, that's going to take some time. And that's going to hurt, because the bottom line is the legitimate cryptos are going to be going up in the next 90 days to 120 days. And you may not be able to be a part of that because you lost all your money to Bitconnect. And that sucks. But for those of you who still have a little bit, for those of you, you know, you got tax time coming up, get on TurboTax right now, do your tax return, pay off, you know, some of your debt, but then you probably need to take a couple grand and follow this channel, follow Ian Bellina, follow, what's my man's name? Doug Polk Crypto. I like him. Now, you know, if you're looking for a family type channel, something to show your kids, Doug Polk Crypto ain't that channel, because, you know, he uses foul language, but, you know, he knows what he's talking about. And there's a couple, you know, Ivan on Tech, very intelligent guy. And he doesn't shield, he just shares information. I've never personally heard Ivan on Tech tell you to invest in something directly. Lewis Thomas, he's a young guy. He has a very good way about him, and he teaches long-term gains. He's kind of like the average dude, and I like that about him, because it shows you don't have to be the smartest guy in the world. I'm not necessarily the smartest guy of all time or whatever, but I have experience in this space, and I know what I'm talking about. So get your money from your tax returns, or do whatever you got to do. But the worst thing that you can do is give up. And let me say this too, because I've seen this on other videos. Bitconnect has absolutely nothing to do with Bitcoin. Nothing to do with Bitcoin. So don't walk around telling people at your job, oh, all this Bitcoin stuff is a scam because you lost money in Bitconnect. No, Bitconnect was a made up token. It was a Ponzi scheme. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin, which actually has, a tremendous amount of use cases, and it has long-term viability. Bitcoin has been around since 2009. Bitconnect couldn't even last for 8 months. Okay? It was probably one of the biggest scams in the history of scams. Probably next to Bernie Madoff, Bitconnect is probably number 2 or 3 that I know of. To get to $2 billion in 8 months, is just phenomenal. What I don't understand is why people just didn't invest in, Ethereum and things like that, which paid you more money in less time. Ethereum is up, at one point it was up 300% in the last 90 days. Over the past 7 months, I think Ethereum is up maybe 400 or 500%. Over the past year, Ethereum is up like 10,000%. I believe it was $10 last year, and no, I didn't know about it. And by the end of the year, it was $400. So that would have paid you more than Bitconnect. And there's going to be another legitimate cryptocurrency that maybe not pay 40 times your money, but it's going to pay 10 times your money. It's going to pay 5 times your money. I have positions that have paid me 500% in the last 60 plus days. I have one that has paid me almost 5 times my money in the last 30 days. If you want to know what that is, follow me on Twitter. And there are links to the group that I'm a part of where we share this information, and it's going to cost you $20 a month. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Okay, it's going to cost you a little bit because we need to be able to, cut through the garbage out there, right? And we need people to be able to take it seriously. $20 could have saved you whatever amount you put into Bitconnect. Okay, if you had to put 10 grand in Bitconnect and you joined our group for $20 a month, which we just started a couple weeks ago, so maybe it wouldn't have saved you, but that $20 could have saved somebody who saw that. All right, so don't give up. Take some time off if you need to. Brush yourself off and get back in the game, because this cryptocurrency thing is real. There's 1,400 different cryptocurrencies. 90% of them are crap. Now, I'm just going to keep it real with you. Most of them are garbage. All right? And so that's why I have this channel. That's why I'm a part of that group. And that's why I have my Twitter. So when I see something that's an absolute scam, then I come on here and say it. You don't have to pay me for that. You have to pay for the stuff that I think is going to work. But for the scams, I get those out for free. So that's why we did Bitconnect. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And now you see what happened. But the past is the past. Like I said, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry that you had to learn this way, but you learn more by losing than you do by winning. You always learn more. The reason why a champion is a champion is because they've lost. There's never been a great team that hasn't lost before. Look at the Golden State Warriors right now. They're whooping everybody's behind. They're probably going to win again this year. I think it's the greatest team of all time, and I'm not even a fan. I hate Golden State. But don't you think it's very painful for them to be up 3-1 and to have the championship in your hand and to lose that? Or even before they started winning championships, they would get to the playoffs and they would lose every single year. The Detroit Pistons used to whoop Michael Jordan's behind, and I was there to witness it. It was real fun watching him get beat. Year after year after year, they whooped on that man. And then finally, he got a new coach. So sometimes you just need a new coach, right? And he got a couple of new teammates, and he learned to win. So after being beat by the Pistons 3 times in a row, after not making the playoffs many years, Michael Jordan had losing records. For all the people that say, oh, he was the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan had losing records for a number of years, right? After all of that, he learned how to win. And so what did he do? He won 6 championships after that, to the point where now nobody remembers the losses. They only remember the wins. You have to lose in order to be great. If everything is just handed to you, you don't value it. You don't learn from that. So I know it's going to be tough for you, but be glad that you've experienced this. I know that sounds crazy, but be glad that you have learned this life lesson at the age that you're at. And so now, starting today, you can take that lesson and grow from it and learn from it and learn what not to look for. Next time you'll be able to identify the scam.